Okay, what a lot of people don't understand is the net worth tiers in the United States. So let's go through them real quick. So the top 1%, those evil 1%ers, to be in that 1%, you have to have a net worth of 11.6 million. Now, 2%ers, you gotta have a net worth of 2.7 million. The bottom down here, I'm not really gonna talk about it because it's not that important. But here's the bottom line. With my program, by simply buying 2 houses a year for 10 years or 20 houses, I can get you into this top 2% tier with you really doing no work. My team doing all the work. How you get from 2.7 to 11, that's on you. But here's what I know, just working with me, I can get you in the top 2.7. Let me show you how. So of course, you're checking out Reland Capital, you're checking out our done-for-you service. You're gonna wanna know, show me some actual deals. Everybody who calls us wants to see actual deals. So in the next 5 minutes, I'm gonna go through actual deals that we've done in the last few months. First one, 3155 O'Hare. Beautiful little rental in St. Louis. The next thing you're gonna know is, hey, how good are you guys at projecting numbers? Well, let's take a look at these deals. So I said the projected after repair value of this house was gonna be $180,000. The actual appraisal came back at $183,000. We did all right on this one. Projected rent, $1,300. Actual rent, $1,300. Spot on in here. Estimated rehab, we said it'd be $30,000. Actual rehab came back at $30,000, $675. So we had some type of $675 change order. Now here is the pro forma that we show everybody. If you look at this one, don't buy an asset off year 1 cash flow, but you gotta make sure the asset is cash flowing positive. So this one, about $200 a month cash flow year 1. Other than as a permission slip to say, hey, you're good to buy this one. All right, now here is how these assets actually work. This is how this gets you into the top 2% of net worth. So let's take a look at what the pro forma said is gonna happen in 10 years for this house. So appraised value year 1, $180,000. Assuming 5% appreciation, 10 years from now, this house is gonna be worth $293,000. That rent's gonna go from $1,300 a month to $2,000 a month. Why? Because you raise the rent 5% a year. Why? Because inflation inflates rent about 5% a year. But here is the magic. This is why real estate creates so much wealth. As the value of the house is going up and the rent is going up, the principal and interest payment on the loan is staying the same at $735. That right there is why real estate creates so much wealth. The money you borrow, your borrowing cost stays the same, but the value of the house goes up and the rents go up. And guess what? The bank doesn't share in any of that. I don't share in any of that. That is all yours as the investor. Now let's look at the job we did on the rehab. So let's take a look at what this asset's gonna do in 10 years. It's gonna have a total return of $156,000. When you talk about appreciation, the ability to use leverage, the tenant paying the mortgage down, tax advantages, and then finally cash flow, $156,000. And then with this B.R.R.R model that we use, where you buy the house cash, pay for the rehab, and then refinance out most of your cash, you're gonna be left with $14,000 in this deal. If you don't understand forced equity or B.R.R.R deal, I explain that concept in several other videos, but for this one, $156,000 return, 10 times return on that money, and boom, $20,000 in instant equity. This is what the house looked like. We re-sided this house, made the outside look nice, new and clean. Check it out, old dungy kitchen, new subway tile, black splash. By the way, this is what we do on all our deals. New cabinets, new pools, new appliances. Old dungy bathroom, new sparked up bathroom, new subway tile in the shower, new vanity, new toilet, new flooring. By the way, this is what we do on every deal. It's assembly line real estate, same SKU, same house, same material, all the time. Old dungy floors, new paint, new LVP floors, old dungy smelly mildewy basement, freshly painted walls, freshly painted floors, new sliding door, new nice basement. So what you're gonna see, I'm gonna start moving faster through these PowerPoint slides because what you're gonna see is we do the same thing over and over and over again. You wanna see this video to see proof of the deals we do, but I'm gonna start moving fast because we do 200 of these a year and it gets kind of boring just doing the same thing. But here we go, 204 Glenora, another great house in Little Rock, Arkansas. Let's check out the numbers. All right, because of our system and our process, what we deliver, we're able to give you accurate after repair values. We know the market, we know the numbers. This one, projected ARV, after repair value of 140. We messed up on this one. We messed up $20,000 too light. The after repair value was $157 for this buyer. So we told them the projected rent would be $1,300. The actual rent was $1,195. So this will happen. We are going to miss a little bit, but we missed low on ARV and we missed about $100 on rent. And then we did go $5,000 on the rehab on this one. So let's check out the pictures on this one. All right, this one, once again, nice new siding on the outside. Took off a tin roof, put on a new roof. Old dungy kitchen on this one, very cluttered. We cleared it out. New cabinets, new countertops, new appliances. Old dungy bathroom, look at the mildew all over that shower. That's a well-used shower. That toilet, that's very well used too. What are we doing here? New shower, new tile, new vanity mirror, new vanity sink, new flooring, new toilet. Very simple rehabs. This is not Chip and Joanna design stuff. This is the same thing over and over again. Looks a little cluttered. We cleaned it up, new flooring, new paint. Back to the number, doesn't matter, the year one returns. This is gonna be about $300 in cash flow a month. That's a permission slip, green light. Looks like a good house to buy. All right, let's check out what this house is gonna do in 10 years. Remember, assuming 5% appreciation. This house is gonna go from $157,000 to $255,000. The rent is gonna go from $1,195 to $1,968, and that's what opens up the cash flow gap. The loan payment's only gonna be $708. All right, so here's your 4-pillar return on this asset. It's going to appreciate $97,000. You're gonna pay down, the tenant's gonna pay down the equity, $17,000. You're gonna get another $16,000 in tax savings, and year 10 cash flow is gonna be $8,000. And so a total return of $140,000. That's what I call a 4-pillar return. All right, let's add it up all together. Total return, $140,000. This buyer was left $8,000 in the deal. That's his down payment. So you leave $8,000 into a deal, you're gonna make $140,000. That's a 14 times return on your money. And they walked into $20,000 of instant equity on this house. If instant equity is a little confusing to you, no problem. I do tons of other videos on a B.R.R.R. But for the purpose of this, I'm just trying to show numbers. All right, this is a $200,000 gem. This is the type of deal I run all my numbers off of. For you high income earners who want to maximize your tax savings, it's these $200,000 deals that are just glorious. So we did one here, 2400 Bluegrass in St. Louis. Projected numbers on this one. I said the after repair value would be $215,000. I was $5K off. After we did the repair, the value came in at $210. The projected rent was $1,750. I was low on this one. Actual rent, $1,775. Estimated rehab was $46,000. We came in $1,000 less, $45,000. Before and after pics on this house. Little dungy in the beginning. We power washed it. We cleaned this one, cleaned up the siding. That's what we did on the exterior of this one. Kitchen. We already had granite countertops. We had a little bit of a dungy backsplash, and the cabinets were solid, but a little old. So what did we do? We painted the cabinets, we put new pulls on it, we kept this granite countertop, we put a Subway backsplash down here, new appliances, made the kitchen look like new. Bathroom, just needed a little freshening up. We put a new vanity mirror, cleaned up the shower, new flooring. Living room, not bad looking, but we freshened it up, new paint, new carpet. Same thing with the bedroom, new carpet, new paint. Basement, when we got it, didn't look too bad. What did we do with it? We just cleaned it up. New paint on the walls, new paint on the floor. Still a great basement. And then here were the numbers on this one. So Bluegrass started out $380 a month in cash flow. All right, so year one, the appraised value, $215,000. At 5% appreciation, 10 years from now, this house will be worth $350,000. The rent's gonna go from $1,775 to $2,700. And once again, the mortgage payment is gonna stay the same at $1,100 per month. This one is a phenomenal, these are the deals I absolutely love. So 4-pillar return on this one. It's going to depreciate $135,000, equity pay down $25,000, tax savings $22,000, year 10 cash flow. By the way, all my numbers, I do not count cash flow until year 10. Year 10 cash flow is gonna be $11,000. So a total return of $195,000. And now remember, this is a B.R.R.R. deal. You're not doing a full down payment and you're getting into the house at 85% of its value. So this house appraised at $210,000. And purchase price plus rehab, this buyer was only in for $190,000. So when he refis it out, he's only leaving $12,000 into this deal. The total return over 10 years is gonna be $195,000. That's a 16 times return. And day one, not only does buyer walk into cash flow, also walks into $33,000 of instant equity. Where else can you find an investment like this? All right, we got another one. This is what we do all day. They just keep coming. It's the same thing over and over again. 3730 high drive. Let's check out the numbers on this one. So projected ARV on this one was $170,000. I was a little off on this one. It came back at $162,000. The rent was projected at $1,600, came back at $1,575, and we were $5,000 over on the rehab. Accurate, but not precise. Let's see if it even matters in the long run. Let's take a look. So here's the rehab we did on this one. The outside a little cluttered. We had to do a lot of landscaping on this one. So we painted the exterior of the house. We took away some bushes, just made a little more curb appeal. This kitchen here, this kitchen needed some work. So whole new kitchen, granite countertop, Subway style backsplash, new appliances, new flooring. Bathroom, as you can see, we just cleaned it up a little bit. New flooring, new vanity, new sink. Let's look at the numbers. Even though me and my team were a little off on the projections, doesn't matter. This buyer's still walking into year one, $390,000 worth of cash flow. The appraised value, even though I was a little off, $162 year one, it's gonna go up to $263 10 years from now. Rent's gonna go from $1,575 to $2,400. And the mortgage is gonna stay the same at $900 a month. So the 4-pillar return on this one, appreciation, $101,000. Equity pay down, the tenant's gonna pay the mortgage down, $20,000. Tax savings of $17,000. 10-year cash flow, $8,000. So the total return on this asset, $148,000. That is only counting cash flow for year 10. So let's check out what it's gonna do in 10 years. Now with this B.R.R.R model, the buyer is only leaving $12,000 into the deal because I got them all into the deal around 85% of the value of the house. Total return is $148,000 and you only got $12,000 into it. That's a 12 times return. Plus this buyer walked into $21,000 of instant equity. So there it is, 4 deals. These are the deals we do 250 times a year. They're going to appreciate. They're gonna have great residents in it who are gonna pay down your loan on it. They're gonna have great tax advantages and they're gonna cash flow. And you're gonna be all into these deals for 85% of the value. That's that B.R.R.R deal that I'm gonna reference you back to another video. So everybody wants to see the type of deals we do. There's a sampling size of 4. Thanks for watching the video. Talk to you later.